welcome to all of you for the presentation on media selection and integration. As you know, media constitute an important component of teaching learning process, and as a teacher of whether school education or higher education, one has to depend upon media for successful teaching. Then the question is that how media are chosen or selected. Then the second question is how media are integrated into the teaching learning process. So, these two questions which always come before a teacher have to be addressed to. So, this particular program clearly addresses these two major questions. Before going to details of media selection and integration, let us understand what is a medium. A medium is a vehicle which facilitates the sender, that means the teacher, to send messages, that means learning experiences, to the receiver, that means learners. So, basically the function of medium or the nature of medium is just a means or a vehicle, and it facilitates, it helps the sender in the teaching learning context, the teacher, to send messages. Messages means teaching learning experiences that the receiver or students needs to acquire. Now, we come to the second important dimension of media. Why do we need media at all for our teaching learning purpose? As you know, any kind of teaching learning activity needs or is based upon a number of instructional objectives. And since there are a number of instructional objectives or variety in instructional objectives, and the teacher has to plan, design, implement and evaluate whether these instructional objectives are attained or not, he organizes learning experiences. So, variety in instructional objectives demand variety in learning experiences, and when there are varieties of learning experiences that a teacher organizes in a classroom setting or in a distance learning setting, require variety in methods and media. A single method cannot help a teacher to attain or achieve the instructional objectives he or she has set before him or her. Similarly, a single medium cannot achieve the instructional objectives the teacher has formulated for her or him. That is the reason that we need a lot of media, a variety of media. Now, coming to understand the place of media in the overall schema of classroom instruction, let us look at this particular slide. Understanding instructional environment. This is very important. We have to understand the instructional environment, the classroom teaching learning environment in which media play a great role. As we look at this particular slide, instructional environment, there are 5 major components. You see, at the left end there is teacher, and the right end, extreme right end, there are students, and these two elements of the instructional environment, they interact with each other. But while conducting interaction between the teacher and student, the teacher takes the help of methods and media. and he has to transact learning experiences. The content, learning experiences means content. He has to transact the content. So, in order to transact learning experiences content, he takes the help of methods. Methods means in a school situation or college situation, we have plenty number of methods. They are teacher control method or teacher centric methods like lecture, team teaching, demonstration, and so many teacher centric methods where teacher controls the learning environment or instructional environment. There are also learner control instructional method where learner takes the important role compared to the teacher.
Dr.
He controls
Das,
the learning environment, and with the help of methods the teacher organizes a learning experience. And here comes the importance of media, which again facilitates the teacher to organize learning experiences.
Dr. Das, yeah, so far like you have explained what is a medium and its nature and why we need them and the place of media in the instructional process. Yeah, and see, learning environment is very important.
Yeah.
And see, the media we are selecting, the method we are using, that may be depending on other factors also, whether students are interested. See, are there some factors or something like they are affecting the media selection?
Yeah, Dr. Joshi, you have rightly pointed out that when a teacher takes the help of different media, is it that the teacher takes that decision arbitrarily? Certainly not. The teacher has to consider a number of factors before selecting or choosing any kind of media. Now, let us look at these factors affecting media selection. We have given here a list of factors. Pedagogic utility, the number one consideration or factor. Then effective communication, then affordability, availability and accessibility, then user-friendliness, and there are human factors. Infrastructure facility is also a consideration for media selection. Time is also a consideration for media selection, and hardware is also a consideration for media selection. Now, coming back to the previous slide, that factors affecting media selection, these are different factors. Dr. Joshi, now we can discuss in detail.
Yes, Dr. Das, yeah.
These factors, that how these factors have to be taken into consideration and what is the nature of this factor. That is very important in media selection. Unless a teacher is aware of the nature of this factor, he or she cannot choose media in the right way.
Dr. Das, yeah, the pedagogic utility is the main thing when the teaching learning process is concerned, because the main purpose of the teacher is like student should learn or the receiver should get the right message. Like how pedagogic utility, like if you can explain pedagogic utility in media selection.
You have said rightly, the first consideration that a teacher should look into, that is pedagogic utility. How far a particular medium contributes to the teaching learning process and ultimately to the student learning. As you know, student learning is the goal or objective of any kind of instructional exercise. So, student learning generally, if you have studied the pedagogy, that student learning occurs in three major domains.
Yes.
These three major domains, they are given by, as you know, that Bloom's taxonomy, and these three domains are cognitive domain, affective domain and psychomotor domain. Cognitive means to know. This is related to knowledge dimension of learning. Affective refers to feel. It is feeling dimension of student learning, and psychomotor means to do. It relates to skill dimension of student learning. So, the question is that whether the medium is appropriate or suitable to achieve student learning in these three dimensions. What is your objective? The instructional objective, and based on instructional objectives you can find out to which dimension this instructional objective belong to, and accordingly how far a particular medium can go to the extent of achieving that particular objective. For example, in cognitive domain there are a number of skills.
Yes.
Like a student needs to acquire factual information. A student needs to form concepts, develops propositions, and learn different learning procedures. And there are so many skills. And even if you are aware of cognitive domain of Bloom's taxonomy, there are 6 categories: knowledge, understanding, application,
skill,
analysis, synthesis and evaluation.
Okay.
So, these 6 major dimensions of Bloom's taxonomy. Under cognitive domain there are also a number of cognitive skills.
Okay.
So, while deciding about any kind of medium, one has to see that this medium facilitates cognitive abilities.
Okay. Dr. Das, yeah, this is a very clear this thing you are explaining. If some example, like if some
yeah, that's true.
That
now we see that if we have to achieve the objectives under cognitive domain, what kind of media are appropriate? Like chalkboard, where the teacher uses this medium always in a classroom situation. Even models of different kinds, overhead projector and transparencies, slides, television, radio, audio, even this teleconferencing as we are having at present, all these are meant to facilitate cognitive development in learners. Now come to affective domain, development of attitudes, that is related to feeling dimension of student learning. Affective domain, under affective domain we include development of attitudes, interest, opinion, etc.
Yes.
These are related to affective domain.
And I think visual medium will be more.
And here, yeah, you are right. Here a television can shape opinion. A audio tape can create interest among the listeners.
Yeah.
Similarly, telephone teaching, I have given a few examples of media, but one has to see that what kind of media develops affective or feeling dimension. Looking at a film or watching a TV program, watching a film, one can also develop certain kinds of interest, aptitude, attitude, opinion. So, one has to be very clear about these objectives and accordingly kind of media to be chosen.
Yes.
Then come to psychomotor domain, development of psychomotor skills, where the learner has to really do certain things with his hand and with his cognitive power, cognitive skill.
But Dr. Das, in psychomotor, yeah, when it comes to the demonstration, even the visual medium is very effective, but for practice they have to do in a work site or in a workshop situation.
Then in that case, media like drawing, painting, how to draw pictures, how to draw diagrams.
Yes.
The teacher can make use of this media, diagrams, pictures, different kinds of drawing, even how to paint a picture.
Yes.
This learner will use his hand to draw a picture, to paint a picture, to draw a diagram.
But now computer is also very popular among children.
Even that's true. Even with the help of computer, the learner can develop very good PowerPoint presentation and animated form. He can learn all these psychomotor skills. So all these media, they can be of great help to develop psychomotor domain.
Yeah, Dr. Das, one thing now in school, previously dissection, like for the biology student, dissection was a compulsory component.
Yeah.
But now the dissection, like the real dissection is not promoted now, and instead of real dissection, the animation is used.
That's why I told that computer animated, even with simulated kind of situation, even computer animation can be done. Okay, let us go to second component or factor.
Yeah, Dr. Das, one thing I wanted to, as you said, the pedagogic utility is the main, because if the content is not there and how to deliver, then what the thing, why this effective communication is equally important.
Even if you have decided according to the pedagogic utility, but the medium is not effectively communicating to the learners, then perhaps one has to take certain precautions. For example, here I have given a very small example, effective communication. If your content is to teach growth of population in India, one has to think which kind of media will be more appropriate or suitable. I hope, I do not know, you have option to choose any kind of media, but for me perhaps a bar graph will be a suitable media for teaching growth of population in India. The third, I think Dr. Joshi, the third important consideration is affordability.
Yes,
or cost.
see, because it's very important, because it is the purpose of this, I think the presentation is, it is not we should select all costly mediums, because in some schools even computers, animation may not be like possible. It is the teacher like who has to decide the available medium, like the best use, how she can give the material, this thing.
That's true. Now, the teacher has to also consider affordability. There are different kind of media, but is the school, first is the teacher is in a position to afford such media, or is the school in a position to afford such media? That means cost factor is also significant or is so prominent while choosing any kind of media. So, if for achieving certain objectives, certain less expensive media are available, one should not or one may not go for expensive media.
And I think Dr. Das, with affordability, even availability and accessibility, I think they are also related.
That will come to later on. Then while deciding about cost, generally we think of four major kinds of costs. Capital cost, that means for example, if the school or the institution wants to develop a big studio, then it's very expensive.
Yes.
So that is capital cost. Then production cost, if for example institution wants to produce audio video film, then again it's very expensive. Then recurrent cost, there are certain media like OSP and many other electronic gadgets, they require recurrent service.
Yes,
so one
maintenance.
One has to also think of such media. Then of course variable cost, as that is this economy of scale. If you choose certain media and it can be used on a large scale, like in Open University that we do, so then that is called variable cost. Then cost reduces. So what you have said just a few minutes back, that along with affordability, accessibility and availability. A media, any kind of media must be available to the teacher or to the user. A teacher, for example, selects or wants to use some media, but it should be available in the institution. If the teacher wants to use OSP, OSP must be available in the school or in the institution. Similarly, if the teacher wants to use LCD projector, it must be available. So, that is the availability. If the teacher wants, but there is no availability of such media, then there is no point of choosing such media. But sometimes it happens, even if media they are available, they are available in the institution or the school or the college or the university, sometimes they are not accessible to the teacher, even to the students.
Yes.
Sometimes, for example, you have computer in nowadays, of course, computer is getting very popular in schools and colleges, but still then many teachers they are not having computers. Even if they are there are computers in the school, they are very limited and they are only available and accessible to the principal and senior teachers, and junior teachers they cannot access even a computer. So, accessibility is also a consideration along with availability.
And Dr. Das, one more thing, yeah, accessibility is one of the main factor, that is affecting media selection, but I think even user friendliness, because many schools they are not having electricity, even if the teacher is having access to the computer, having access to the TV, but erratic electric supply, that also plays a major role.
Now, a little bit I will talk about availability and accessibility. Availability and accessibility, they are both inside the institution and outside the institution. Sometimes there are certain media which are not available in the institutions, but they are available in the nearby locality. If you do not have say VCP or tape recorder, you can go for and hire from the nearby some shop, electronic shop or then on rented basis. So, that is also another consideration. If even if it is not available or accessible in the institutions, this should be available and accessible outside the institutions. Now, coming to what you are saying about user friendliness is very important. User friendliness, that a medium also always should be friendly to the user. Unless the user finds it friendly or ease to handle the medium, then it becomes a difficult proposition for the user to choose such media. So, here we come to ease of handling. That means that medium must be very comfortable to handle. There should not be any complexity. The user with his bit of knowledge, he must be able to handle it very effectively. Then comes to control over media. There are certain media where you have to always depend upon the mechanical technical people to help you how to handle the media. And but there are certain media, they are so inbuilt, the mechanism is so inbuilt into the system. So, in that case perhaps you do not have to depend upon any person to help you. So, for example,
radio, television, I think they are even computers.
You may be having the experience, earlier computers, one has to remember so many commands, so many instructions. Nowadays with this Microsoft computers and latest technology, one has complete control over multimedia.
No, but they can self-explanatory, things are self-explanatory with help, like
so that
can do so many
that
things.
means that one has to have control over medium, then then it becomes user friendly. Then another important consideration, that medium should be interactive.
Yes.
Well, now earlier there are media that it was not having this characteristics particularly. They were not that interactive, but nowadays you see multimedia computer, it has a lot of interactivity possibility, animation and so many things they are fed into one instrument, that is a multimedia computer. So, that possibility, even our teleconferencing that we do here, it is a interactive,
Yes.
this medium, teleconferencing medium is interactive.
I think Dr. Das, here the human factor, the
Yeah.
interactivity component is must, because it is not the which medium we are using. Yeah, today computer has the maximum interactive possibilities, but see, even with TV and radio, if the interactive component could be incorporated, I think, because TV and radio are very now cost effective medium and easily available medium in all schools.
Yeah, that's true. Now, but you know, every now and then, all these latest technologies, they are becoming so interactive. Even you talk of mobile. Now,
Yes.
every now and then, mobile is coming in a new fashion or new form with a lot of technologies. They are built into the
New
system.
feature.
New features. So all these, they are part of user friendliness. Then we come to human factors. When we talk about human factors, we generally the first important factor is professional training. To handle any kind of media, one has to be professionally trained, professionally oriented. What I mean that a little anyone can use media, that that is there, but there are certain media, even for example a camera, a sophisticated camera, to handle a sophisticated camera, one has to get some sort of professional orientation or professional training. That is very important. Even if one has to really develop some PowerPoint presentation or something like that, one has to get some sort of professional training, maybe in a formal way or maybe in an informal way.
Dr. Das, one thing, yeah, for this sophisticated instruments, yeah, we need, even for using a chalkboard, the basic medium we have, there is like some skills that a teacher or that a presenter should have, because how to write, and like it should be legible, it should be clear, it should be comprehensive, and yeah, that way it is not like, okay, because today we have all these electronic medium with us and we are more familiar with them, and we always like tend to take these examples, but the teacher should not feel like the computer training is required, only computer training is must, not the blackboard or using the model, using the teaching aids.
You are right that when I talk, I just gave this example. Even it's true that to make use of a chalkboard in a classroom, one needs a good training. So a chalkboard can be used in a variety of ways. Even if you want to make use of a poster or a picture, a diagram or a chart, even that requires certain skills and orientation. It does not mean that you are having a chart, you show the chart, but ultimately our objective is to facilitate student learning with the help of this media. So another component of human factors is attitude towards the use of media. So one should have positive attitude towards the use of media. If one says that I do not want to use any kind of media, I am very comfortable with my lecture presentation, or I do not want to use even chalkboard. So this is a different kind of attitude that teacher has, but that attitude has to be changed if one has to use a certain kind of
I think
media.
Dr. Das, attitude, I think it is more important. See, because professional training is available and people can get the training, maybe outside or inside, it's a different, informal or formal, but the thing, if we have a positive attitude, then it's easy for us to even acquire that skill.
Now hardware is another component of this particular factors. When we talk of hardware, we basically talk of certain consideration, that hardware, that technology or the media which we are selecting must be safe. That means it should not cause any kind of hazards to the
students or teachers or
the example,
institution.
Now you may be reading that mobiles, they are causing some sort of hazards to health. So that way it must be safe from that angle. Then the media must be durable. It should last for some time.
Certain time.
Then it must be compatible. It is very important. As you know that with the growth of technology, every now and then we are having different kinds of media, but the media that you are going to have must be compatible to the latest technology.
Yeah, Dr. Das, here one thing, because it's a like common experience with us. We make PowerPoint presentations or we make some slides, and then when we are coming to the studio and we are putting the slide is not like the compatibility is not found.
Then availability of spare parts. Sometimes we choose some media and they are very expensive, but when they are non-operational, then when we go for spare parts, they are not availability in the market. Appropriate to climatic condition here means that when you go for some type of, they require some kind of temperature, like computers, if they are put in air conditioning
AC is required, yes.
then they function very effectively, otherwise there are problems. Now infrastructure facility, here basically physical space, that means you know, to house certain kind of media you need need physical space. For example, if you have to place computers, then you need a computer lab, therefore
yes,
the physical space is needed. Then furniture, accordingly furnitures also are needed. Then electric supply system must be in place, otherwise
UPS,
UPS for example in the case of a computer. So these factors, they are also needed for some sort of electronic kind of media.
But that's one thing, like all these factors, like they are like we have to procure, like the school has to, but what about the like time, because even a teacher will also need time. Then
this question, what sometimes you know, to teach particular content, when you choose some kind of media they take a longer time, some kind of media they take lesser time. For example, if you want to show something through a video program, so that video program may take some 20 to 25 minutes to convey certain messages or learning experience. But if you have some alternative media where you can picturize those things and present to the students, so basically it is a consideration that how much time you have at your disposal, accordingly one has, you can choose some media. There are a few steps a teacher has to follow while choosing media. The first is to analyze content. Analysis of content or learning experiences in a particular curriculum or a course, that is the first task while choosing a media. Based on the content analysis, you can find out different concepts and propositions, and based on these concepts and propositions you can write instructional objective. These instructional objectives for a particular concept, you can write instructional objective. For example, if you want to teach the concept of family, to your students, then you can formulate an instructional objective like students will be able to define the meaning of family. So this way you can write instructional objectives. Then once you have written instructional objectives based on your content analysis or concepts or propositions, then you place or decide to which domain of instructional objectives this particular instructional objective you have formulated, that belongs to. For example, here students will be able to define the concept of family. It is coming under cognitive domain.
Yes, information level.
It's a very kind of knowledge,
understanding,
and understanding kind of objective. So you can very well categorize it under cognitive domain. Then considers factors. We have given a number of factors for choosing media
selection.
Based on this content and the objective, you also simultaneously decide the factors, different factors. And based on these factors, you can select some. Of course, here comes another significant point. that methods and techniques. Methods and techniques, they always go along with media selection.
Yes.
They content selection, then objective writing, content analysis, objective writing, then choosing some methods,
And
of course,
factors, yeah.
and media, they go along with method.
Yes.
So, once you are clear about all these things, content analysis, instructional objective, methods,
And media.
techniques, then factors of affecting media selection, then ultimately you choose
The media.
the particular medium.
Media.
So, these are the basic steps of selecting a particular medium for a particular kind of learning exercise or teaching exercise.
Dr. Das, yeah, as you have explained, it's very rightly like the step by step. One thing here for the teacher is like, see, there are so many mediums available. There are number of methods. Whether they want to use lecture method, even in the best medium, person can use the worst method.
Yeah, that's true.
It is like, and they can use the best thing, and at the same time they have to consider number of things as the various factors we have like you have explained. And because a teacher will tell, I do not have a computer, how can I select computer?
Yeah.
See, you have to consider your this thing, what you have and what you do not have, and what you have, and in that context how resourcefully you are using the best medium. That is the main thing.
You are right. So, these are the certain steps the teacher has to take into consideration while selecting a particular medium. Then the question is that once the teacher has selected media, the most important thing which comes here, that how these media, they are integrated into the teaching learning process.
Yes, that's one thing, Dr. Das. If you can explain with the help of some, like you can take a topic and then tell like in the introduction and thing like how a teacher can use different medias and integrating them with different methods and media in her or his classroom teaching.
That's true. You have said rightly, only choosing media is not important. The media should be properly integrated into the teaching learning process. If the teacher fails to do that, then perhaps there is no point of selecting any media. So, how does the teacher do that? Now, let us look at this particular example. Suppose a teacher is given a period of 40 minutes to deliver his or her lesson. As you know that in a 40 minutes period, the teacher does 3 major important activities, and all of us know when you go to any school, you find in a class of 40 minutes, the teacher goes to the class. The first task he or she does introducing the topic. Then second task he or she does delivering the main content or presenting the main content of his presentation, and the third task is he does his sums up or she sums up. Now, let us see, in the introduction to the topic, the teacher has decided to opt for lecture cum discussion, where it is a teacher centric cum learner centric method, where the teacher lectures some to a certain bit and discusses with the students. So, if this is the method the teacher follows, then what kind of media the teacher
can use?
Here the teacher decides, perhaps I can introduce my topic with some writings on chalkboard and with some presentation through OSP transparency. Perhaps this is the decision the teacher has taken, and in order to complete this task, and he has or she has earmarked 10 minutes for introducing the topic. Then comes to next says main content. Again the teacher has decided to out for lecture come discussion. Here you see, here what she has done, she has again chosen chalkboard, OSP, and she has also kept some pictures to help her presentation. She has also brought some audio clips as well as video clips.
Okay, but here she will need more time.
Since she has to use so many media for her presentation, she needs more time. And the content is also, the content factor is there, because main theme has to be transacted.
Yes.
So for that she has kept 25 minutes, the major chunk of the time. And then summary. Summary also she does with lecture. There she takes the help of chat, OSP transcript.
Dr. Das, I am thanking you for a very comprehensive presentation.